Well, the shocking news has just hit. It looks like Mauricio Dubon has been traded to the Atlanta Braves for Nick Allen, and yeah, I think like a lot of people, this is kind of came out of nowhere. I mean, I'm trying to figure out what was the point to this, but before we get into that, Browse, what are your initial thoughts?
My initial thoughts were, okay, sweet. What awesome pitcher did we get? And then I looked it up and I'm like, nope, we did not get a sweet pitcher. We got Nick Allen, who, don't get me wrong, it was a Golden Glove nominee at shortstop for the Braves, but a very light hitting shortstop, excuse me, at 221, 0 home runs, 22 RBIs. That was his stat line for this last year. So, since you asked me, here's the way I see this. It's like we got rid of a guy that could potentially play outfield, which we know is a position of need for us. Could play left, center, or right, either way. And we DFA'd our other utility infielder earlier this week, or was that today? I feel like all these days are running in together. But anyway,
I think it was
so
yesterday, to be
Urias is
honest with you.
gone. Yeah, I think it was yesterday. So Urias is gone. Dubon's gone. So we don't have a utility infielder right now. And on top of that, we just lost a guy that could play potentially outfield and did not actually put or gain anything in a need category there. So no outfielder, no pitcher, and yeah, this is I have no idea. I have no idea why this happened. So what, Chris, what was your first reaction?
I mean, honestly, I mean, I read the waves that were going on earlier today, and I knew that they were probably going to try to make a move before Friday. Um, but my first initial thought was like, okay, maybe we got, like you said, a pitcher. Maybe we got some, minor league pieces. But to see that we got a guy in Nick Allen, which, I mean, like more than likely, I wouldn't be surprised if they end up probably DFAing him probably in the next couple days. So essentially, it's like you just DFA'd um, Urias yesterday, which I mean I get because you had to make the 40-man roster spot for Miguel Uola. 100%. We talked about that with Garrett on Sunday, but I just don't understand this move. I mean, I understand that he's due to make what 6.87 million in arbitration. I mean, but like again, it doesn't quite make sense because you have, I mean, you've got the rumors going on about Jake Myers, about him potentially getting traded as well. So Dubon is kind of like your insurance policy if like Zach Cole doesn't pan out, or if, I mean, if Cam Smith happens to what for whatever reason start the season in AAA. I mean, he's your essentially he's your Swiss Army knife guy. So I'm just kind of puzzled with what's going on, and like you get rid of your one utility guy. Now you just trade your Uber utility guy, your back to back Gold Glove winner. So my expectation now is that, man, like you're doing all these moves to dump salary. They better be spending money, and they better be putting that money back in towards building this roster to get it back to the upper echelon that it used to be. I mean, that's kind of where I'm at because I mean, like I said, if it was for a couple of prospects, okay, I get that. I mean, but if it's essentially for Nick Allen, a guy that I could definitely see them within like a week, DFAing. So essentially, you gave them to the Braves for nothing, or you gave Dubon to the Braves for nothing, which to me kind of makes no sense. And like, I'm trying to like grasp. I'm trying to look at it at the glass half full. Okay, maybe this is to free more money for them to go out and spend a crap ton of money. Maybe I don't know. I'm just kind of like, I don't want to say in shock. I'm just kind of like, I'm trying to see. I'm trying to see through the fog of what path this trade puts us on.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the big picture is here either, but Nick Allen is a I'm not just going to say he's like a throw-in piece. I mean, he's a guy, but
He's
he would be a
absolutely a
guy that
throw-in piece.
you would be, well, he's a guy that you would think like, hey, look, we don't have a shortstop right now. We need a defensive hold stop at short for next season until we can figure out what's going on at that position, because maybe you've got like a stud in the minors that's coming up behind him or something like that. But that's literally what he is. I mean, he is not a regular everyday shortstop. Even so, we've got Jeremy Pena, and if Jeremy Pena can't go, guess who else we got? We got Carlos Correa. So if he doesn't get DFA'd, I think he is your starting shortstop, literally in Sugarland, and that's about as far as he's going to go for the foreseeable future right now. I mean, I don't see any other way around that. So we obviously don't know the big picture of what Dana Brown's doing, but the one thing I can say is he's got a way to flip him to a different team for a piece that we do need. He's going to get DFA'd, just like you and I both said. So we basically gave Dubon away for nothing, which makes no sense either, because even if you're going to go out there and spend money, Dubon cost you $5 million in 2025. Like you said, he's projected for just a hair over $6 million in arbitration this year. So what are you doing? I don't get it. You just gave away a potential starting outfielder piece, which you've got to build from. You've got a guy that can play any infield spot except pitcher and catcher. Actually, I think he was even our emergency catcher on the for a certain point in our roster last year. So it's like I don't know. This move makes zero sense. Chris, you're going to have to change your moniker down there at the bottom, and
Yeah.
we'll have to figure it out, I guess, in the next coming days, man. Because, like I said, this just doesn't make any sense at all to me.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that I'm trying to think positive about is maybe again, maybe this is to clear more money, and maybe it's for a bigger move that I'm hoping maybe it's a trade for Brandon Donovan, maybe. And then if that's the case, then it's like, okay, I mean, as much as the city, as much as me personally, as much as we love Dubon, I would make that sacrifice Dubon for Brandon Donovan in a heartbeat. I mean, so I'm hoping that it's again, it's not like Dubon was making 18 million. It's not like he was making some astronomical amount of money. I mean, anywhere from
Exactly.
6.8 to 7.5 million. I mean, that's still maybe like I said, maybe they're just clearing that room because they have a guy that they have in mind that they're going to go get, or maybe they're already on the brink of getting. They just needed to clear some money. I mean, so maybe that's what it is. And I would like to think that even though as much as a fan favorite, like I said, as Dubon has been for the past, he came over in 2021. He came over on waivers from the Giants, I believe. But I would like to think that even the fan base, the Astros fan base, would clearly be okay with. I know I would, and would be okay that if for us to get somebody to the caliber of like a Brendan Donovan, if it costs us Dubon, I think that most of the fan base would be okay with that. I would. I mean, granted, yes, now, like you said, I'm gonna have to change my moniker at the bottom of the screen. I'll have to find me a new person to be the fan club president of. But yeah, I mean, so I guess my question to you is like, if that situation does occur, let's say the Astros already have something cooked and already ready to rock and roll on something, they just needed to clear some money. Would you be okay sacrificing Dubon for maybe a player of Brendan Donovan? Would you be okay with that?
Yeah, of course. And I think that they're going to have to do something like that, because you can't, like we've already said, you can't let a super utility guy go who just won the Gold Glove to go to Atlanta for nothing. So there's got to be a second piece that hasn't happened tonight that is on the cusp of that. Just like you said, I think it's got to be a Brendan Donovan, which has been rumored, all over the internet, probably for like what, the last week or so. It hasn't been like super heavy, but there have been hints of it. People have been talking about it. So we'll see if that happens. Maybe we can pull off something with St. Louis, even though St. Louis typically doesn't have any trade needs with us, and we've already said since the whole thing that happened back in what that was 2014, 13, 14, where they were hacking into our systems or whatever, like that. Oh well, we'll never trade with St. Louis again. Yeah, whatever. That's long gone at this point. But hopefully we can get a pitcher, maybe and Brendan Donovan. I don't know what the case is with this one, but I do know that St. Louis is looking to shed some salary. So listen, getting rid of Dubon doesn't get rid of a whole lot of salary on our side, but if it does, like you said, if it's enough to get us a Brendan Donovan and hopefully somebody else, maybe somebody for the pitching staff, then yeah, I'm all about it. So let's just hope that the front office has got our best interest going forward here, and this wasn't just like a listen, Dana Brown came from Atlanta, like, hey guys, I really need to get I really need to get Mauricio Dubon. So I'm just going to give you this guy. So let's hope that's not the case. And let's hope that there's a couple more, meditated actions coming up soon. Premeditated. That's what I was
Yeah.
trying to say.
No, I like I said, man, I would absolutely have to think that these guys have something already in the works for something else. And maybe, like I said, they just needed to clear $5 to $7 million. I mean, like otherwise this trade makes no sense. Like it makes no sense. So especially a day after you DFA Urias or Urias, however you pronounce it. But yeah, man, I'm like, I guess that's the best thing about the offseason. Now it's time to sit and wait. I like I said, I would clearly be shocked if there wasn't a secondary move coming off of the heels of this one. And then hopefully it'll make all of us be like, oh, okay, that's why. All right, well, welcome to the Astros, Brandon Donovan, or maybe it's Cody Bellinger. I mean, who knows? I mean, I don't think Cody Bellinger
Don't
is
say
going to
that.
sign anytime soon. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I mean, like there has to be a secondary move to come with this. I mean, now I guess the real question is Jake Myers is his days numbers too? Because I know that's been another thing that's been floating around the last couple of days has been Jake Myers, and it seems like when these trade wins, start swirling, it's not too long after they start swirling that something happens. So
I I
yeah,
feel
I
like
mean,
Jake
like
just got an insurance policy, man.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I'd be interested to hear what everybody else thinks. I mean, like I said, maybe tonight we're scratching our heads. Maybe tomorrow, there'll be breaking news while we're over at Constellation Field saying that they pulled off a trade and it's one of those okay, now it all makes sense kind of thing. So yeah, man. I mean, so I guess we'll you know hurry up and wait and stand by to stand by, I guess, and see what the next move is. But yeah, I mean, anything else you need to add to this, Browse?
No, that's it. You nailed it. I think that there is something on the horizon that we don't see that Dana Brown's going to come out with, and we will just see how this all unfolds. I mean, we got a ton of time. I mean, we're not even to Thanksgiving yet. So, this roster is going to change between now and spring training probably tenfold before we actually see what the master plan is going to look like. And I really hope that they're able to navigate this, get it done. If it was salary dump, cool. Not whatever. But yeah, look forward to it, see what that next move is, and then we'll talk about it again when that happens.
All right, yeah, sounds good. All right, so guys, next time you will see us will be in some shape or fashion tomorrow night. Tomorrow night we'll be at the Space Cowboys Constellation Field Holiday Lights preview. So I'm sure you'll see us in some aspect tomorrow night. But for tonight, like I said, just hopped on, wanted to talk about the Dubon trade, and like I guess we'll see what happens. I mean, and if anything happens tonight, I mean, I might hop back on. We'll talk about it. But until then, hey, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you guys at some point in time tomorrow night. You guys have a good evening.
Have a good night.